Hello! So for today's recap, 2.2R was a decent day. I was bending a little bit my rules today, and that cost me a useless R. You will see. So in the small cap today, my first trade was mask at 194. At 548. Boop, right there. $732. At 160. Right there. So my entry was it was for this capitulation, so I waited. I wasn't on the market right there. I waited for the backside of the move to see if it would go higher than my entry point. That would be the capitulation, and then I went out there because you could so there was a second capitulation right there, boom, after the first one. So yeah, so I even waited for a little bit more than target, 27% instead of 24, which is good. I didn't increase my size, so yeah, a good trade. Second one, that's where I lost a little bit of control. You'll see why. Usually when I have many lines like that, is that I'm not necessarily thinking rationally. So I'll clear that. My first entry was at 725 at 270. Oof, that was not a good trade. No, it was too early. And then I increased my size at 729 at 294. So technically, the only capitulation that I see was here. So these two entries was too early in the process. So yeah, should have entered a little bit later there, and after a while, after a long distribution here or accumulation like this above the VWAP at the trend break, that's an exit, which would have been almost to the penny my break-even exit. But instead, I have exited my position at 7:35. Yeah, such a bad trade. At 3:03. Nope, no reason for that trade. Not very proud of that trade. So I took another shot with KIDZ at 321 at 7:51. And I have exited my position at 3:07 at 8:01. On VWAP. That was actually a good scalp, but the thing is that was oversized, so it was kind of a revenge trade, obviously, and it's not part of my strategy at all. Should have not taken any trade like that. I hope my boys are hearing the background noise, which is them. Probably later they will. If they see this video, you will recognize yourself and find it a little bit funny. So after that, I took another trade. Oof, that's a bad trade that I took. At 8:02. At 282. What? No. 311. And then I increased my size. $310 at 8:14. And then I exited my position. 324 at 8:32. Right there. Exit was good. I had no business trading this area because it was clearly an accumulation. At least the exit was good. And then I took one last trade on KIDZ at 8:33, 351. which was a capitulation right there, which is good entry, but I increased size because at this point, actually didn't hit my stop loss. Oh wow, stop loss should have been 435. But I increased my position at 415 at 933. Right there, boom. Which was a pretty decent capitulation at the open. Yeah. Then I have exited my position at 1048 at 333. 1048. Decent trade. Boom, right there. Yep. Pretty decent trade. Yeah, that was a capitulation after. Yeah, before the 24% was hit right on spot. Yep, pretty good trade. After that, the other ticker I took was NPT. That was one. It was good. So I took a trade. This one at 9:30, right off the gate. Boom, right there. 680, 670, 670. And I have exited not too long later, 9:37 at 5.14. Boom. Almost full target, 24%. Yeah, pretty decent trade. Very fast. 7 minutes. Then I took another trade on mask at 10:02 at 264. Then I added to my position at the upper capitulation at 294. Right there. I've exited my position at 11:07 at 251. Yep, right there. Because I had to leave my office, and now my rules are that I'm only trading from my desktop. I don't trade anymore on my telephone because I'm not managing my risk properly when I do that. So, because when you want to be a professional trader, you have to be professional all the way. And professional traders are not trading on their phone. BFRG. So that I took a trade on that one at 9:45. Oops. Right there. No, right there. Because I was looking at this capitulation, and then I added to my position at 9:40, 9:59, right there. And then I wanted to exit later, but it was that time that I decided to leave my office, and I kid you not, I took an exit right there, like 2 minutes before it dropped. So, but still, it was not a full target trade, so I would have probably not taken profit here anyway. So that's okay. And my last trade was a beautiful trade on POLA. I had my entry sitting on the ask at 288. Ding! Top ticked. And then I have scaled out of my position. One was at 221, which is lower than my target, and right there, and took everything out at 193, which was like almost bottom. That one was pretty. I can only appreciate this beautiful chart. Oof, 32%. That's pretty good. I was watching this ticker since 5:45, and I've waited and waited. I've waited 4 hours to take my entry. That's awesome patience. Pretty proud of that. So that's it for today. It would have been a beautiful day if I would have not taken these stupid trades on KIDZ, but it's okay. Tomorrow I'll do better. So signing out. Have a good one.